New York is the biggest collection of villages in the entire world. It's the melting pot of America, and it's one of the best places to travel from. One of the main reasons why I continue to live in New York is because of how accessible travel is to and from the city. There's almost nowhere in the world that you can't fly to from a New York City-based airport. In this video, I'm going to explain a bit more about my favorite travel options in New York and how I like to travel. I am extremely fortunate that I get to travel for my job, and I've made a few videos about how I travel for work. In short, I work with select brands and companies and other YouTubers to travel. So there are 3 main airports in the New York City area. My favorite airport to fly out of is Newark. If you live in the city, you're probably thinking, why is Newark your favorite airport? It's so far away, it's all the way in Jersey. There's a few reasons why it's my favorite. The first is because it's the cheapest to get to. I live in Midtown, I go to Penn Station, I take the NJ Transit, $13 to Newark. That is usually just about a 30-minute trip, which is pretty fast considering the other airport options. Normally a taxi or Uber to Newark will cost you over $100, which gets pretty expensive if you travel as much as I do. Last minute scramble here trying to get all my stuff together before, well, you'll see. The second and definitely most well-known airport in the New York City area is JFK. JFK is perfect for domestic and international travel. One of the only problems about JFK is the fact that it is definitely the busiest in the New York City area, and traffic can be a pain in the ass. Even if you are taking the subway, you know, traffic to JFK can be one of those things where, you know, you could potentially miss a flight. And you can also take the subway to JFK, and that takes about an hour or so. Actually, in this video, we are going on a trip. A little hint for this trip, we 100% need this guy, the passport. Definitely can't forget that. And as you can see, I'm very much so dressed up. It's only a rare occasion when I fly wearing a suit, so I have on this nice comfy blue suit. This is like my go-to. But with that said, let's go to the last airport that you can fly out of in New York. And the final airport you can fly out of in the New York City area is good old LaGuardia, which is right now, it's seen better days, but in like, I think, what, 2020? 2020. By 2020, this place will be brand new, state of the art. On this trip, I'm not solo. I'm joined by the one and only Manager Jared.
Hey everyone.
So before I get to my final destination and have to use this, I'm traveling from New York, LaGuardia, to Philadelphia. Home of Will Smith, the Eagles, Benjamin Franklin. We're here for like 2 hours. Should we go get a cheesesteak?
Let's go.
You want to?
Chicky and Pete's?
No.
Pat's?
Geno's, bro.
Geno's?
Geno's. Comment down below, Geno's or Pat's. I haven't really given much information about this trip, and this is one of those moments that I want to just share and have on camera. You know, way back when I used to do the vlogs, I would share, you know, big news and things in my life. Proud to announce that I've just started a partnership with American Airlines. Not specifically on this video, but on this trip I will be creating content for the company. There's a saying that goes, a rising tide raises all ships. Whenever a friend of mine who is a YouTuber or a creator gets a big deal, it's kind of just like it's an up for the whole community. So I just thought I wanted to share that really fast. That's also why we are both kind of dressed like businessmen on this flight. We don't normally dress like this when we fly. Sometimes we do. This video is a little bit of a behind the scenes travel vlog on what I'm doing with them. I mean, I'm super pumped. I feel like I should be whispering. Listen how quiet this is. Ready? A quick 9-hour flight later, and we have arrived in our European destination. Based off of those drone shots, comment down below and guess where we're at. And if not, I'm gonna tell you in like 5 seconds. We are in Prague. That's right, Prague. The land of castles, bathhouses, where the beer is actually cheaper than the water. Right off the plane, this is a traveler's highlight of the must-see spots in Prague. First off, Prague is a tiny city, and the best way to fully experience and immerse yourself in the city is on foot. So we just got to the John Lennon wall, and the wall represents a symbol of global ideas, of peace, of love, progress. And apparently our tour guide was saying that it was a massive source of irritation for the communist regime in the late 80s. You know, people have even said that when it was painted over, the next day it was full again of poems and art. Also meet our tour guide while here in the Czech Republic.
My name is Aleš. I'm a tour guide here in the Czech Republic, so I'm gonna take guys around.
He's not just a tour guide, he is the best tour guide in Prague. The best. And we keep coming across the most eccentric art by this guy named David Cerny. He is the most controversial sculptor in all of the Czech Republic. The most interesting public art installation he did was a sculpture of two men peeing in a pool outlined as the Czech Republic. The kind of guy either you love him or you hate him. We made our way over to the Charles Bridge, which is a must for epic views of the city and at night. So this is Charles Bridge at night, and I was just saying to Jared that this looks fake at night, and I think because in America the only thing that we have similar to this is something that's fake.
Yes.
Like Disney World, Disneyland. I mean, look at this. That is, at night it just looks incredible. I said this earlier in the video, but it's a fairy tale. It really is. Last but not least, we climbed up the hill to Prague Castle. Every place I go, my #1 travel tip is to get there early. Beat the crowd, you know, wake up at 5 a.m. if you have to, just to get to a place when it's nice and empty. Now this is just a very, very light skim, but if you are into rich history, I 10 out of 10 recommend the Prague Castle. We're about to jump in a car and road trip to the west of Prague, to the land of Bohemia. Dotted with ancient castles, bath towns, and canola fields as far as the eye can see. We have escaped the city life of Prague, currently laying in a park in the town of Maria's Bad. And now the reason we're here is because of the bath culture. The hidden triangle of mountainous villages and rolling green valleys, known for their volcanic hot springs, has a tradition going back hundreds of years, visiting spas and enjoying the healing properties of natural springs in the Czech lands. One of the most famous bath towns is Carlsbad. Carlsbad is actually a town out of a fairy tale. I mean, just look behind me. The sun is rising behind the trees here. You have this nice row of buildings along the canal. And a very interesting fun fact, this is actually the location where the first James Bond film, the one with Daniel Craig, Casino Royale, this is the hotel where they filmed Casino Royale. Are we going in the bath, Jared?
Ooh, I certainly hope so. I brought my swim trunks.
I didn't bring swim trunks, but you can go in nude, right? We are in the Roman baths right now. I can't really talk because it's a very private area, but I wanted to show a little clip of what it's like. It's a very ornate, grand bathhouse, and it's kind of nuts though, that the fact that they built this massive town just based around having a good old soak in a tub. Yeah, I just have a knack for it. These lens flares. Starting off the video clip always with the nice lens flare. Just about 6 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in the woods of the Czech Republic. This morning I'm on the hunt for a castle. Apparently there is a castle deep in these woods. I mean, as you can see, this is one of the most beautiful forests I've ever seen. Just like, look how dense this forest is. Back in the States, we don't have anything older than, say, 300 years, and I am a huge history buff, so when I come across something that is, you know, 500, 800, 1,000 years old, to think that something stood the test of time and is still here from way back in the past, I find that fascinating. So without any ado, let's find this castle. People way back when were a lot shorter than now, so a lot of these doors are quite tiny, as you can see. We've penetrated the castle walls. I've always wanted to say that. The name of this castle is, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Alice, if you are watching this, correct me, Kokojin Castle. I highly recommend taking a tour of this piece of history. And just like that, I am back in the big city of Prague. Prague is one of those places where I definitely need to come back. A lot of times when I travel, I'm only in the location for, you know, a few days. We have a flight to catch, and with that, if only traveling home was actually that easy. That was a 12-hour, no, I believe it was 15 hours, 16. It was a long travel day. I'm back in the city, back in my apartment, fighting the jet lag monster. I have a ton of New York content coming out over the next few weeks. I have another travel trip to Europe coming up in the next month. Schedule's packed until August, and that's a good thing to be busy. I'm gonna do my best to fight this jet lag, and with that, I will see you in the next video. So until then, as always, remember to smile more, worry less, and live your passion.